Hi all. Let's do some more C++. Last time we installed it, we installed a compiler and we ran the first program, which was Hello World. This time we're going to go through the number 2 folder here, and I have 10 small programs. They're real short ones, just real simple examples. We'll see how far we get. We might only get through half of them, but they're pretty simple. We should be able to get through most of them in this one video. Okay, so what I want to do is take these two and put them on semicolon. See, we're on semicolon here. I'm going to make a folder on semicolon, and I'm going to name it C++. And then I'm going to put these two folders inside of it. You don't have to do this, but it just makes it easier to navigate to it with the DOS prompt. So we'll start up DOS. We'll start the command prompt. Let's change the colors here, and that'll just make it easier to see on the videos. We'll say medium cursor. Font, we'll make the font just a little bigger and we'll make it bold. Colors, background will be white like a piece of paper, and then the text will be black, and then we'll click OK. And then we'll CD to semicolon. This is just a fancy way to move back 2 folders. In case you don't follow what I'm doing here, I have a video on how to use the basics of the command prompt. You don't have to be a genius with this stuff to run a few programs. So we're on semicolon. Now we're going to CD into the C++ folder. CD is change directory. That cursor is kind of weird. Let me change that. A little small. Okay, that's better. Okay, and then we'll CD into the number 2 folder. We'll go 002, and then when I hit the tab key, that'll complete the file name if it recognizes it. That just it's called tab completion. It just saves a few keystrokes in typing. And we'll hit the enter key. So now we're inside that folder. You can do ls to list the files. Yep. dir to list the files. Okay, those are just the folders inside here. ls is just a Linux command to list the folders. Okay, so first we want to look at this one here. Just to keep things neat, let's clear the screen. CLS, clear screen. Now we'll CD into the first folder. CD 01 and hit the tab key. Oh, it went to number 10. CD 01. Okay, so now we're inside this folder here, and this is just the same program we ran in the first video. I thought we'd just run through it real quickly. So first we have to compile it, and we're using the Borland compiler. Any C++ compiler you have will work fine. So BCC52, and we want to compile the file a.cpp. No errors means it worked. It created these files. You don't really have to worry about these files here. Now to run it, we just give it the file name. File name is A. I just name these files real simple, and because it makes it easier to run them and play around with them. So A, it ran the program and printed out the text. Okay, so that's this guy here. So we covered this in the first video. This is just the header. You don't really need to worry about these much. You just throw them at the top of your programs. Yeah. This is input, output, stream. That makes cout available, so we can output text to the screen. This is a string, fancy word for a couple characters or a sentence. You know, they don't call it words in C++, they call it strings. So we're outputting a string to the screen. Output to the console, to the command prompt. Hit output the text here. We're in the main function. This would be main. This is the function header. This is the name of the function. This is kind of an old, just a C programming way of having a main function. There's other ways that you can do this, but I thought we'd start with this because you should be aware of C. You know, later on we'll do some C programs too, but I just thought it was best to just go ahead and start with C++ because they're real similar, kinda, and depends on what you want to do, but most people will go for the newer C++. So why spend 6 months or a year, or however long it takes to learn C, and then switch over to C++. So once you know C++, you kind of know C with a few changes. So, yeah, it's not that big of a deal. So, but just in case you're flipping through books, a new modern style of a function header name would be to leave this off and then int here. So you might see that in the new C++ books. It's basically the same stuff, kinda. You know. This just means we're sending an integer back to the operating system. See, Windows is the operating system. That's the program that actually runs the C++, right? program. When this is done running, it sends control back to the operating system. So it actually sends an integer back. That's not something we really have to worry about for now. But I just wanted to bring it up in case you're seeing that in books. It's not that big of a deal. So what I did want to bring up here is this is the main function. Later on we'll get into programs that have 2 or 3 functions or more. And so this is main. So whenever you see these two guys, these two braces, you can insert the word function. So main function. Okay. Now we'll do number 2. First we have to back up, go back 1 folder, CD back 1 folder. Then we'll CD into the O2 folder. So I've got that spelled funny. Let's see here. If there's spaces in the folder names, then you get this jazz. They put it in quotes because there's a space here. So we'll CD into the O2 folder. See, now because I named them all the same, you can just use your arrow keys to go back to compile the file. It knows we're going to compile this one because we're in that folder. Okay? It knows we're going to compile this one because we're in the O2 folder. No errors. It worked. Then we run this file here, this a.exe, and it prints out 2 words. So let's check out the code here. So I just split this up. See, first we print out hello, then we print out a space. Fancy way to get a space. That's this space here. Then we print out another word, world. So it's kind of a drawn out line. All I'm really trying to show you here is there's a fancy way to output a space. So use cout, output this to the screen, then output this to the screen, then output this to the screen. Okay, now we'll do number 3. First we have to back up a folder. Then we'll CD into the O3 folder. I thought I had these all cleaned up. Let's see here. First we'll compile it, then we'll run it, and now we have 2 strings, hello world twice. Let's check out the code. Okay, so first it output this, same as the previous program, and then it output this again, same thing. These two lines are the same. So it did exactly what we told it to do. First output hello world. See, there's no space here, right? Because we didn't tell it to put space there. And then it output hello world again on the same line because we didn't tell it to move down a line. Okay, so just two couts. Here I'm just showing you that if you don't tell it to put a space in, if you don't tell it to move down a line, it doesn't automatically do it for you. Okay, now we'll do 4. Let's move back a folder. Let's clear the screen. CD into 04. We'll compile it. Then we'll run it. Let's check out the code here. Okay, so this is the same thing, but we told it to move down a line. So we output this line of text, then we move down a line. We do the carriage return. We hit the enter key by moving down from here down to this line. Then we output another line. Okay, so fancy way to get a new line. Okay, this N means new line. Give me a new line. And you can see here we're in quotes, right? Just like here, we have quotes. Well, if we just did it like this, it would just print N to the screen, just the character N. What we have to do is use this backslash. That backslash is an escape character, ESCAPE. We're escaping the N, and we're saying, hey, I know it looks like I want to print out an N, but what I really want here is a new line. There's all types of these things. There's tabs, and there's a whole list of these things, but they're not too common. So putting a new line in your code like this, though, that's real common. So that's 4. Now we'll do 5. We'll CD back 1. Then we'll CD into 05. We'll compile it. Then we'll run it. And kind of the same thing. But what I'm showing you here is you can put a new line in right on the line that you print out. You know, before we had stuck it between the two lines. If we wanted to, we could just stick it at the end of the word here. I'm just going through a couple simple variations of the same thing because I'm thinking you might be flipping through books. Look at my examples, and then you look in the book and you say, what's going on here? You know, there's something different. So I thought these would be good examples to help get you going and give you a little experience on just some basic output of text to the screen. So. Okay, so that's 5, 6,